Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the episode number 7 of Super 30. Super 30 is a 30 minutes event which is done in partnership with CEEW, primarily focused on important informations that can actually transform your business. Could be government policies, it could be certain global strategies, it could be certain things that you overlooked, or certain information that you're always wanting to get and not had access to. This is primarily focused on SMEs, small and medium enterprises in the field of HVAC&R. Before we bring in Himanshu, who's actually going to talk about the research and development and the technological enhancements that's available for SMEs in HVAC, a quick run on the association, a 72-year-old organization, uh, which has got about 12 committees across the country. We have over 1,500, close to about 1,500 members, companies as members, reaching out to all kinds of business owners from the HVAC&R trade from across the country. They could be manufacturers, they could be dealers, they could be importers, wholesalers, consultants, um, all of them who are SMEs in this business. And over the last 2 years, we've done multiple programs which has benefited all our members. So here's another session today, and I'd like to invite Himanshu here. Hi, Himanshu. Thank you for coming back again for another event at RATA.
Hi, Mr. Panikar. Thank you for having me again, and uh, I'm glad to be here.
Awesome, great. So let's get straight to the topic today. We have 30 minutes to talk about what are the technological enhancements and research and development are which are available for MSMEs in the field of HVAC. So over to you to introduce CEW and also the topic.
Yeah, can I? Yeah. So, as you have already alluded to the topic, I'll just introduce CEW in a minute. So, the Council on Energy, Environment and Water (CEEW) is among Asia's leading policy research institutions. We use data, integrated analysis, and strategic outreach to explain and change the use, reuse, and misuse of resources. As you can see on your screen, we work across 7 different focus areas such as energy access, renewables, power sector, low carbon pathways, and we have a dedicated Center for Energy Finance to deepen our work on markets, energy markets. So let's get right into it. Um, why are we even talking about R&D and technology enhancements in MSMEs? There are several reasons for it. The first is that there are policy imperatives that we as ecosystem players, right, the MSMEs as manufacturers, will have are mandated to achieve. And these flow from the Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol, right, which formalizes India's commitment to HFC phase out. And as we move away from HFCs, which are used as refrigerants in air conditioning and refrigerant units, we'll have to look for options. That's number one. Number two, there are energy efficiency mandates also, which are uh, given by Bureau of Energy Efficiency, which also uh, you know which also mandate the manufacturers to improve their units in terms of how much energy uh, they use. Right, they need to be made more energy efficient. Both these require more R&D uh, and technology upgradation in the units as well as manufacturing. So that's one piece that drives R&D in the HVAC sector. The second is the fact that there's plenty of technology development happening in the country. There are a lot of prototypes available in laboratories, in academia, uh, but the diffusion and deployment of these technologies is quite low, right? The uptake is low. And this is especially true for not in kind technologies. For example, the natural refrigerants, right? Their uptake is really low, and that's because there is a lack of collaboration between different actors that need to come together to make this happen, right? The academia and the research community have done their job, but they have done it in isolation. The commercial players were not involved. So they face an uphill task when it comes to commercializing that particular technology, which is developed in laboratory conditions. And this was actually noted in the India Cooling Action Plan as well, which is a guiding document for all of us in the sector, where it identified this kind of collaborative schema, as you can see on your screen, between equipment manufacturers, institutions, and refrigerant producers in all kinds of areas, right? So in short, if I have to summarize this slide, I can say that catalyzing R&D is crucial to infuse new capabilities in MSMEs if we want to transform the sector. Now, what kind of support or institutional mechanisms do we have to actually facilitate this kind of uptake? And there are quite a few of them available. They have been available for very many years, actually. One of them, a prominent one, is Technology Development Board, which functions under Department of Science and Technology. It supports new projects in the area of science and technology, where it actually finances projects, right? So new projects, they entail risk, and to share that risk, it kind of works on the model of proposal approvement, where once a proposal is approved, about 20 to 30% of the project finance is given by Technology Development Board. And another area that it works in is in the field of venture capital, where it invests, it does equity investment in early stage enterprises. The second is the National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board, which is which works in the area of informational services, technology business incubators, and science and technology parks. The main agenda of NSTEDB is to actually provide information to new and upcoming businesses, and I think SMEs qualify in that category, and help them build their business. So it doesn't work in core technology, but rather at the interface of technology and markets, where it provides services of assessing a market for a particular technology. Then Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council, TIFAC. This is not so much a support mechanism, but rather a think tank for the Government of India, which does medium to long-term projection for technologies. So, for example, 10 years down the line, which technologies will be more relevant, which technologies will offer better business opportunities, and with that analysis, you can chart a long-term technology strategy for a sector and for the country as a whole. Lastly, NRDC. I think this is one of the biggest government agencies that's working in the field of technology transfers. They have a repository of proven technologies, which they have sourced from CSIR and DST funded public labs in the country. And these are all proven technologies. And what they do is they take expressions of interest from different parties, commercial parties, and then transfer their technology, licenses their technology to the industry. Now, you might ask at this point, how do I even apply for some of these institutional mechanisms that exist for me? Uh, since these boards and agencies, they are fairly large, they have many programs designed under them. It's not possible to go through all of them in this presentation, but what I can say is that all of them have dedicated websites. You can go to the website, get the information. They have a fairly clear sort of repository of information out there. For example, on NRTC website, you will find a list of all the technologies that they want to transfer to the industry. So you can choose that, you can apply for, you can basically submit an expression of interest, and then NRDC will take the process forward. So these are some of the institutional arrangements. But beyond institutional mechanisms, we need to pursue other strategies as well. And here I would also invite Mr. Panikar to, kind of brainstorm with me for a minute, right? So institutional arrangements have their place, but no one can deny that we need to strengthen our policy framework as well, right? The supply and demand dynamics. We need on the supply side incentives for players so that they can adopt new technologies, and on the demand side, we need to provide incentives to the consumers so that they are able to absorb the cost of new technologies better, right, Mr. Panikar? What do you think about?
So, so I'll be very honest with you, Manju. I know it's great to actually say these policies keep coming out. At least now we're making every effort with the association to disseminate that information. But one of my personal experiences has been, when it comes to MSMEs, you come up with grand schemes, but it never reaches everybody or it never benefits the majority. It's a handful of people that it tends to benefit. And there are so many hidden things that come around it. So my question is, yeah, I think we should step out, try it out. And I guess as entrepreneurs, we need to keep trying and seeing where it comes from, where is the opportunities opening up doing. But let's take it with a pinch of salt. It's not
Yes.
something that has happened so easily. So uh, I mean, the way when I'm listening to you, I'm saying, okay, I'm going to get to the website, I'm going to try it out, and let's see what happens. And let's not get demotivated that okay, these are all things that come on paper, but reality nothing happens. But let's give it a shot. I mean, I'll be very honest. That's the feeling that most of us carry. That you come up with nice fancy schemes, but really nothing percolates down. There are so many hidden conditions like barriers that you just can't access it. And that's
Yeah.
my personal reservation. But yeah, okay, let's keep it an open mind and let's try what happens.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that point that some of these schemes look very good on paper, but when it comes to execution, it remains a little, a lot of things. As you said, there are a lot of hidden barriers that we are not able to address
That's true.
in the design of that scheme or that policy. But I think the points that I've listed here, they are especially kind of they especially address this point. How do you onboard SMEs, right? Because that seems to be the thrust of your concern as well. How do you onboard SMEs into these very targeted programs? The third one, especially demonstration project of select climate technologies, where you demonstrate the feasibility of a particular technology which is just about to come to the market, and then you disseminate the benefits that can be that can be accrued with its uptake, right? And I'll give you an example where CEW is actually working on precisely this kind of project. There's a project called Indie Plus, or Future Refrigeration India project. Uh, it's a project that's been driven by both Indian academia, namely IISc, IIT Madras, and also Norwegian institutions such as NTNU, and of course the technology has come from Europe, but they are really testing the technology out in India, and they have the right prototype now, and they want to actually demonstrate the benefits of that technology. Now, the context here is that by 2024, India will have its HFC phase out plan ready, right? And then there will be a rush to switch to new technologies, right? Most of the refrigerant technologies we use, they are based on either HFCs or some synthetic refrigerant, right? But then there will be a rush towards uh, adopting natural refrigerants, right? Because that plan will be in place. We don't know what the shape of the plan will be, but one can reasonably assume that there will be some incentive for natural refrigerants. Now, there the SMEs that will that are already a part of this program or who have shown interest in this program will actually benefit. They'll have a first mover advantage. And what does the program actually does, right? It focuses on CO2 based refrigeration. Under the program, there is a control and optimization software which has been developed, and it is part of the technology transfer process of the program, where they want to, increase the diffusion of this particular software. And as part of demonstration, 3 units are going to be installed and monitored. One is a commercial refrigeration system in a supermarket. Another is a chiller system in a hotel. And the third one is a refrigeration system in a fishing vessel. So you have that variety as well, the variety of in end use sectors to show that this technology can work here, right? And if we are able to show that this technology can work, then obviously business can be developed around it. And what's more interesting is that the key equipment for these demonstration sites have been sourced from Indian suppliers. Now, the core technology has come from large ones, but the small components have really come from the SMEs, right? And going forward, we are going to ramp up the training, education seminars, workshops, and other information sharing projects, under which a lot of SMEs will be targeted. They will be invited, to attend these seminars and workshops to gain more knowledge about this upcoming and very sort of very a technology that can be adopted very soon. It can really become mainstream in India in the next 2 to 5 years. So this is one example where onboarding of SMEs can be achieved. Uh, Now we understand that it's actually quite a difficult task. Just to take your earlier point forward, that it's not just through demonstration that SMEs and small manufacturers should be supported, right? There has to be some material, support given as well. And all of us know about the production linked incentive scheme that just came out, but it does not really target SMEs. They are probably not going to get benefits of the PLI scheme. While on the other side, the the export readiness of India's HVAC sector is going to depend on the right standards, quality control, and other incentives, right? Which you can give to the ecosystem as a whole, and that ecosystem has all the players, big players, small players. Small players means SMEs. And so, as an extension of PLI, you really need to think about a complementary set of benefits for SMEs that can enhance their capacity to take part in this churn that PLI scheme and Make in India are seeking to are seeking to kickstart, right? So with this kind of intention, CEEW is also organizing a day-long session on 13th of May at India Habitat Center with key government stakeholders, industry bodies, and other academic institutions to delve into precisely these issues. And I hope these issues actually strike a chord with RATA membership, where we are going to focus on the role of small manufacturers in the localization of supply chains, right? The big guy cannot make everything. He'll have to rely on the capacities and ingenuities of small manufacturers. We're going to focus on design in India. Design is a big pain point in small industries. We are going to talk about R&D collaboration, especially SME focused R&D collaboration, where we need a mechanism where SMEs can actually access these centers of excellence. We know these the innovation trajectories of large companies. They open a center of excellence, and then they keep on taking benefits of the technology enhancements that happen there. But SMEs are not able to do that. So that's also on the agenda. Apart from that, we are going to talk a lot about upgradation, knowledge transfer, deployment, and commercialization of some of the upcoming and not-in-kind technologies. So this is something that CEEW is taking an initiative on, and I think I can also take the opportunity to sort of invite RATA membership to this event. It's going to happen in New Delhi, and the logistical details and the venue details will be shared through you to RATA members very soon. Yeah, thank you. If you want to discuss some of these aspects, Mr. Panikar, please feel free.
So some of the questions that keep coming into my mind is, how much of the industry involvement has been there when these schemes have been designed? Because most of the time they are designed. A PLI came out because there was a certain industry which wanted it, and they got it what they want. The SME representation in making these schemes is just not there. And I'm saying that with a lot of confidence because they come up with schemes that we don't need, and what we need is not even spoken about. So the challenge continues out here. What is the level of involvement? And see, the other thing is, you're always asking for SMEs to come forward, go ahead and apply. You must realize one thing: 70% of this industry depends on imports. So primarily, majority of the SMEs come from a mindset where it is just a trading kind of a thing, or a small value addition which comes in from an import. That mindset itself needs to be changed first, right? So when you say incubation, that incubation, it's like that startup ecosystem, right? That incubation is like a baby hand holding to change the mindset, provide all the logistical support, the finances, and then make sure it becomes a unicorn or adds a lot of value or keeps moving up. It doesn't happen in the MSME sector. Though you have MSME schemes and MSME, there has never been a strategic approach to that entire industry. And we constantly feel that sometimes it's just more of hearsay and a lot of talk and a lot of marketing and noise making, but at the ground level, really nothing happens. And there's something that I've also spoken to you even during COVID times. MSMEs did not get any benefit out of it. They just learned to survive. They've learned to survive most of the challenges that they face. They use their skill sets and they manage to survive that. And most of the SMEs who have also scaled up have done on their own benefit. I mean, there's never been a big scheme which has actually facilitated. Now with the HVAC&R industry getting focused, I still feel a lot of the schemes that are, though it's very unfair for me to comment about the schemes that were spoken about even without looking about it. I'm just going from the earlier experiences, that it really doesn't benefit a lot. And there are so many hurdles, to even take advantage of these things. Do you think that there is a change in mindset which is coming now that no, I think people are getting more sensitive about it, or people in power are getting more sensitive about this?
I think yes. I think there is a recognition that MSMEs are here to stay. You can't wish them away. It's a fact of India's industrial sector.
Right.
So if you want to leverage their capacity, then you'll have to support them in a certain way, right? It's a cost and benefit analysis, obviously. So how much support you'll give and how much benefit you can get out of it, and clearly the benefits are huge. Now your point about not enough SMEs having the internal sort of drive to scale up, etc., it's well taken, and it's true as well. And we don't expect 100% of SMEs to actually scale up to become larger players. That will not happen. But we still hope that through these support measures, some SMEs that are innovative in themselves, they can kind of take help of these little, ropes that the government is providing them to climb up the supply chain, to become better, right? And obviously this is a time taking process. It'll take a while before they become competitive, globally competitive. I recall I recall something that an analyst said about SMEs and startups, right? In my presentation I said SMEs are kind of startups, and he said startups is a baby that is going to become huge, that is going to become an adult one day. But SMEs are like dwarves. They're not going to become bigger. They're going to remain the same size. So I think there is some truth to that, but there is also, there is also like, I think that statement should be taken with a pinch of salt as well.
True.
It's not always true. We have seen in other sectors that SMEs have done very well. Some SMEs have grown to become really global players. They started out as SMEs, they remained SMEs for many years, but then they became really big. Uh, and of course, that was possible because of the collaborative action of the government as well as industry. So I will be I'll be slightly more optimistic on that, and I think just to take your cue that we really need to try it out before saying
I guess so.
you know
Yeah.
uh, this won't work, because it has not
True.
worked. So
True.
we'll keep
So
trying,
before
and let's see where we go with it. Yeah.
So before we actually end up, we've got about a few minutes to go. Can we just give a quick run only on those schemes that we were talking about, so people can actually go back and talk about all those four opportunities they have? A quick run and the websites. So one is, of course,
Yes.
let
So
me
let
let me
me
say that, Himanshu. Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Himanshu. Just explain those four last ones before.
Yeah, so let me actually talk about two of these, which is Technology Development Board and NRDC. Now, Technology Development Board is actually like a board. There are 11 members of the board, and they accept proposals, project proposals, where they see the kind of what is the scope for them to intervene, right? And I saw quite a big list on their website where they have invested, amounts ranging from 80 lakhs to 20 crores in small enterprises across industries. So, and obviously, this won't just come in the form of money. There'll come a lot of technology support as well. A lot of expertise will also be given to you, because they are giving they're spending money on you. So it's a very good institutional mechanism in that sense. But obviously, because there has to be an element of personal initiative as well, right? You need to come up with a proposal. You need to have that drive that I want to move up, I want to adopt a new technology, for my business, and only then TDB will help you. On the other hand, there is NRDC, which is National Research Development Corporation. They already have a set of proven technologies in their repository, right? Over a period of many years, India has developed a lot of these, but they have not been able to commercialize them, right? So now they want to really put these technologies out there in the hands of commercial players. And so, they have created a platform where you can go, you can read about the technology, right? They have give in very short kind of synopsis of the technology, what it can do, how it works, etc. And then you have to submit a form of expression of interest, right? Where you will submit your details, and then NRDC will contact you. They will ask you to meet them, and then they will start the process of IP transfer to your enterprise. They will give you a license. Now, I'm not sure. Depending on the technology, it will be a open license or a kind of a paid license where you'll have to share part of your revenue with them. That'll differ from technology to technology, but this is a flagship kind of mechanism from the government of India to uh, to kind of impart or transfer these technologies to commercial players. And again, the beneficiaries are largely small enterprises only, right?
Yes.
So, these are the two, I think, main institutional mechanisms that HVAC SMEs and RATA membership can take advantage of.
Awesome. Great information, Himanshu. So to all our members, give it a shot. If this is something that could be of interest to you, get onto their websites, make an application, and do share with us your experiences. If there are stumbling blocks, reach out to the RATA office. We'll do our best to reach out to CEEW or other bodies to figure out how we can help you out to take advantage of all these various government policies. So thank you, Himanshu, for taking time out. It's always fantastic to hear, to have CEW because you talk a lot of the information that we do not have access to. So thank you very much for taking time out. And to all our viewers, we're going to come back next month again with another episode of Super 30. Right. Thank you very much, Himanshu. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks
Ajit.
a lot.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.